We're going to do a little show and tell today. Now, I'm going to show you some things that have to do with working out that aren't exercises that you might not have heard of. So we're going to start with one of the more useless ones in my opinion, and I'm not sponsored or affiliated with any of these companies. This first one is very strange, and I feel like for some people, they might be able to actually appreciate it a lot. It is a barbell warmer. You plug it in, and it warms up your barbell. Now, if anybody has ever had to get up at like 4 in the morning and do like a garage gym workout in Minnesota and finish it by 6 a.m. before they eat and clean up and go to work or something, I can imagine that working out in a cold garage at that time of year, winter, in a state like that, holding onto a barbell can be cold. You know, might actually hurt your hands. Yeah, it's already hot. Like I just turned it on. Now, like I said, I don't actually use this because I don't have a need for it, but I think it's kind of interesting that it exists and kind of cool. So good job, guys, for inventing something like this. But yeah, you just wrap your barbell with it, and then when you're ready to use it, you just zip it off, and as easy as that. Let me see how warm this bad boy is. Yeah, it feels like it's been sitting out in the sun or something. So pretty cool. I don't think it's stupid. Next, we have something that's going to be more useful for most people. Different chalk options you never heard of. Most people think there's just solid and liquid chalk and maybe tacky. There's so many more things out there than that. So we have your standard powder chalk, right? Your blocks, you break it up in a bowl. It serves the need of most people 80% of the time. I'd say there's probably a good 20% of people that have something more they need because maybe it's really hot, they're sweaty. That type of chalk turns into this kind of like pasty, mucky stuff. And then they're like, crap, what do I do? Because you just dry off your hands with a towel, nothing happens. You put more of this on, now you're covered in slime, right? Well, they make liquid chalk, but they also make what this is, a aerosol liquid chalk, which I think is just absolutely dope. I use this stuff all the time, but it's an aerosol version of a liquid chalk prep, and you just kind of spray it on, and it's a little bit different from liquid chalk. I can't really describe the difference other than maybe it just feels a little bit lighter and a little bit just less alcohol-y because liquid chalk has ethyl alcohol as one of the major ingredients. So this stuff is really neat. It's a nice supplement, especially if you're sweating a lot. You can't seem to get dry chalk to stick. Dry off and coat this and then that. But we also have pole resin body spray, which is pole dancers. You got to think it's more important for a pole dancer to have dry hands when they're doing what they're doing than a lot of other types of athletes. So they're very serious about it. This is a light resin for pole dancing, and you can use this for working out as well. So that is an interesting product. This is a Sahara Dry. Is the people that made this one. They gave it to me as a gift. So it's pretty neat. But this one's patented. This is some sort of chalkless thing. I don't know what this crap is. It's silica silylate. You want to go ahead and get that ingredient right there?
Got it.
Okay, stay there. This is the weird part. Let me show you what this stuff is. It's some sort of weird, like if you can see it, it's almost invisible. It's so strange. It's the weirdest stuff. And watch, go in my hand.
Okay.
All right. Okay, see? Like I just poured some on my hand. You can barely see it. And it's just, that's actually a lot. Yeah, it's hard to see. It's really hard to see this stuff. But this stuff will dry out your hands so much, it's really kind of weird. When I use it too much in any workout, I don't use it that often because I don't need my hands to be that dry. When I've woken up in the middle of the night, my hands were absolutely killing me from using the stuff during a workout during the day because my hands were getting so dry from whatever it did. So if you really need dry hands and chalk's not cutting it, there are some options. This one's neat. I don't think a lot of people know about this one too as well. This is not really a gym equipment. This is a crane scale. You can get it on Amazon, or you can look for a luggage scale. Luggage scales are typically not rated for as high of poundage, so I'd recommend something a little bit more robust. Yeah, this one goes up to 660 pounds or 300 kilograms. You want something that has some weight on it because what we're doing is we're using it to measure how strong band tension is, and that has a lot of uses. Let's say, for example, you have two different bands, but they're like the same everything, only one feels a little less, you know, tense than the other one. It's like, well, crap, how different are they? You might be able to measure that and see like there's a good 20 or 30 pound difference between those bands. That way you can make sure you're kind of QCing your own bands on exercises and make sure that what you're doing is actually like consistent input, like you're, you know, keeping things like that. But let's see what the difference between these two bands are. So right now I'm going to pull back on this. All right, so this is a light and a micro band. That they are different sizes, but right now this one has 28 pounds of band tension. All right, and so what I could do with this beyond just like measuring band tension at different points of an exercise, let's say like, hey, I'm right here, 17, and at the end I have 28 different, you know, 17 to 28, that's a difference of 10 pounds of band tension you're moving from, you know, origin to, you know, end or whatever. You can also use it to reverse bands. So let's say you're doing like assisted exercises and you want to see how much assistance you're getting. Like I'll do this with rings, which are hanging right here in front of us. And that way I know it's like, okay, so it's reducing my body weight by, let's say 20 pounds at the bottom and only 5 pounds at the top. That gives me an idea that I say I'm a 240 pound man trying to do ring flies. Well, at the very bottom I'm getting 20 pounds of assistance. So it's like a 220 pound man at the bottom, which is interesting. Let's see the difference in band strength here. Okay, so let's see what this one is. All right, that is 8 pounds. So you can see that's like 4 times stronger, or the other one is about 4 times more resistance with the equal amount of stretch. You can think of all sorts of uses for this, but if you are a person that likes to keep very meticulous logs or be a little bit more exacting with your, you know, calculations, your tracking, and your workout planning, using a crane scale to kind of, you know, make exercises uniform or just understand what is happening and is pretty useful. All right, just 2 more things to go. Knee wraps.